Start recording. Let's just just start by telling me your name, but also why you're here. Like, what's your relationship with the store?
I'm James Connor. Uh, Came here in August 11, 1977, and I used to work at another retail store. I'm not going to call their name. And I had a friend of mine used to work at the other store, so he was working over here also. So I came here to visit him while I was unemployed, and I went to the operator, Marna, and I asked Marna for the application. She said, "Did I see the job in the newspaper?" I said, "Nope." She said, "Well, we're not taking application." So I said, "Okay, thank you." I was standing by the elevator going down to the first floor, and Mr. Gil Hines, the manager of the medicine shop, he said, "What's up, brother?" I said, "Nothing really." I said, "Actually, I'm unemployed, looking for a job." He said, "You have self-experience?" I said, "No, but I worked at Kraus for 2 years, and I worked at Gaucho's. And I was the manager at Gaucho's warehouse and assistant manager over their trucks." So he said, "You have that kind of experience. I cannot let you go." He said, "I'm going to get the application." Gil went and got the application. I filled it out. He said, "My man, Mr. Bill Church, is on a buying trip, but he will be in by Thursday, and he's going to call you." But the church called me Friday and said, "I just hired somebody. She's a female, but I don't think she's going to make out." So he called me Monday and said, if I'm still interested in the job, it's available. And as they say, it's history.
Well, now that's fate right there.
All right? So,
So had you heard about Rubenstein's before you came in?
well, I shopped at Riverstein when I was in high school.
Did you?
Yes. I always did like to dress well, traditional family. And I came over here and I got me a plaid bow tie.
Nice.
Yes, I got a plaid bow tie.
Were you a bow tie man?
Well, I was in distribution, and we had to, after school, we went to a retail store to work.
Mm-hmm.
So uh, that's how I did dress. Okay, what you see now, this is where I was in school.
Good looking
Okay,
man, sharp dressed man.
so I went in a bow tie. I was going to show how crazy we was coming up. My school cutoff was red and white, Booker T. My twin brother Jerry, he went to Walter L. Carter Senior High School. Their cutoff was green and white. So for their homecoming game, I had a green and white tailor-made suit made. So I needed a green bow tie, and the medicine shop had a nice green and plaid bow tie. So that's the outfit I had for the homecoming game.
Very nice. You remember who you went to homecoming with?
My partner, Richard, we never did hang out too much, with the girls, because we used to dress fly and they used to thought we was pimp.
Oh, that's great.
Yes.
I love it. Oh, so when you first came to Rubenstein's, what were you doing? What was your, what did they hire you for?
They happened to work in the stock room, so it's a funny story. So 9 o'clock, so got here for first day of work, 9:05, and 47 years after that, it's always 5, 10 minutes after hours. So I came here, 5, 10 minutes late for work. All right, for 47 years ago, and so Mr. Thomas Landry, he was the supervisor of us in the warehouse, and Mr. Landry said, "He's supposed to be here for 8:30." I said, "8:30?" So he told me 9 o'clock. He said, "No, you come in at 8:30, and you pass the dust mop and empty the trash can. You do light porter work on the medicine shop. Then you start working in the stock room at 9 o'clock. So, well, could never get here for 8:30, though, right? But when I did got here, I did what I had to do in the morning time, and then I went into the stock room. So from that point, we just working in stocks, and it was a very comfortable job because the store I used to work for, they had 6 stores in the varsity shop, and they had a whole square block of a warehouse, and they had 4 stores where they would drop off tractor trailers. And our job was to unload the tractor trailers and also mark, unload the merchandise so the ladies to work on the assembly line. Well, I did that for like, well, 2 years, 2.5 years. So when I came over here and I received merchandise, store came in and delivered. So when the delivery came in, everything was on the first floor. So they must have had about like 20 boxes. And it was like, they got a lot of freight on the floor. They got a lot of freight. I said, a lot of freight? They said, yeah. I said, okay. So I go down there to get the freight off the floor. And I brought everything up about for what, 20 minutes? They said, you got everything up? I said, yeah. I said, I'm finished. Well, they wasn't aware. I'm just used to moving.
Much more stuff.
3 tractor trailer load of merchandise. They'll drop their trailer. We'll work, from 8 o'clock in the morning to sometimes 8 o'clock at night, sometimes 6 o'clock. And we just unload all 3 the trailers. So coming over here, it was a piece of cake.
Easy peasy.
Yes. So.
Can you talk a little about Mr. Tommy? Because
Thomas Landry, he was a very, hardworking young man. I say young but he was older than me. He was a hardworking guy, and he never said no. And he inspired me to always want to do because he always did, regardless if it had nothing to do with stock, he still did it, So, and that's how we learn. We learn how to do everything had to be done. And Thomas, he was a great leader in that point because, if it had to get done, he was here to work for Rubenstein's. And so he did what had to be done. So, and I followed him. I followed that mentality. I'm here to work for Rubenstein, so whatever had to be done, we did it. So, and other than that, his private life, he was a Mardi Gras Indian. He was a second chief of the Wild Magnolia. After a period of time, he became chief of his own tribe. This was the Geronimo Hunters. And every Mardi Gras, he was masked. Handmade his suit. And so that's, other than that, we just all worked together. Tom, he was a good supervisor. We worked, we went to the suburban stores, we went to the jean shop, wherever had to be done, that's what we did.
I have to admit, I was always a little afraid of him when I was a little kid because he had a certain seriousness about him.
He was very serious.
Yeah, he was a serious man and made me, like you say, made me want to do better.
Yes. It was no nonsense, we had to get the work out. So we got to work out. And if we wanted to, have fun and socialize and play and stuff, we did that after work.
So you've been here a long time. Most people don't work at one place for that long. Why do you think you stayed?
I used to work in a restaurant, the Ville Carre restaurant on Bourbon Street. And when I got there, I always did like to help people on the job. So I was helping the waiters to clean their trays off. So at the end of the night, they would give me a little hustle, a little tip, some money. So I had this one waiter. This is a black guy, and he felt like because him and I was black, I shouldn't. He didn't want to give me no tip. Or I said, well, the other guys they white and they giving me tip, help them to clean their tray, and they making sure I have something. And like you say, we's brothers, then you should be able to help me. So he didn't want to do it, and I didn't want to clean his tray. So Mr. Frank, the owner of the business, he said, James, he said, I had all my waiters to clean their tray. When you came here, they started giving you money, and you started cleaning their trays. So since you started it, clean this tray. So at that point, a couple of minutes later, I walked out. And I came home and my mama said, Mama said, I don't work at the restaurant no more. She said, what happened? I said, I quit. And she said, son, I told her the story, and she said, son, as long as you live, never let nobody run you off your job. And if the man don't fire you, don't quit. Rubenstein never fired me, and I never quit.
Well, there you go.
There you go, all right? And that's my stories. When customer comes and they see that sign, this year gonna be 47 years. Same question, what made me stay so long?
They haven't fired me yet.
I tell them that same story. They never fired me, I never quit. And everybody came here who did wrong and could have caused me to lose my job. I did not let it happen. I reported them. So in my time, it was known as a snitch. Well, you wasn't gonna run me off my job, all right? So either gonna be you or me, and it wasn't gonna be me. So that's how I stayed. I just did what I had to do and never say no.
Yeah.
Never say no and do what you gotta do. It's all in a day's work. And I like working in retail because I went to school for distribution. I worked at, another 2 more retail stores. I said, we're not going to call their name. We don't want to. But they're not in business anymore. But, So other than that, I like the retail. That's my trade, retail.
Were you ever tempted to move from one place in the store to another place, or one kind of work to another kind of work?
Well, that's how I stayed so long, and that's why they pull up with my tardiness, because I always have involved in all the departments. I came in as working in stock room, and then one of the guys worked in the stock room. He was also the truck driver, and he didn't came to work that day, and I had chauffeur license from working at the other job with my other truck drivers. So I drove the truck that day, and then I noticed that they had some empty shoebox in the van. We had a van at that time. And I brought it to Tolman's attention, and Tolman came down, and he looked at the empty shoebox in the van, and the guy didn't show up to work that day. And the night before, Lisa I was missing a pair of shoes. So he took the shoes, and so they let him go, and I became a truck driver. So that's how I got to become truck driver. So by me working so efficiency and fast, we had what they call return to factory department, and it was all backed up. So I went in there at the department, and I organized the department, and got to the point where it's very efficient, so whereas though we was getting our credit from the vendor for having damaged merchandise or merchandise we didn't order. And so I did that. So there was times where in the tailor shop department, Mr. Mack, my mother has 3 sewing machines, so I like to sew. So there was time until I won't say actually I working there to get paid, but I was on my lunch hour. I was going to tailor shop, and I would press some clothes, you know, to learn how to press, you know. And Mr. Mack would show me how to press, you know. So after that, you know, let's go back to working deliveries, you know, uh, deliver merchandise, you know, to customers. So, uh,
Were any of those um, favorite jobs?
no, I would say truck driver was my favorite job because she called me soul brother, and I used to call her soul sister, Miss Great True Rubenstein. You know, she would say, soul brother, she said, I'm going to the plaza today. I'm going to ride with you. I said, all right, soul sister. So Great True and I, we would go to the suburban stores from time to time. That was fun. That was fun with Great True. Yeah.
Yeah.
We had a good time with Great True. Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Something, boy.
We had a good time with her.
Yeah. I had a thought and it just disappeared.
Yes.
That
Then when they
what happened?
consolidated All American Jeans, you know, then I became the, you know, driver for All American Jeans. So I would have to go to all the suburban stores, All American Jeans.
How many stores were there again?
Right off of my head, we had one on the West Bank. We had one uptown in Carrollton. We had one in Clearview. We had one in Canal Street. This was the main one. We had one in Auto Mall, Lakeside, Lake Forest. We have more than a dozen I could think of, you know. So, and became a truck driver, so I would drive all to the jean shops, you know. And
Did you shop there as well? Or did you stick with Rubenstein's?
oh, that was Rubenstein.
No, I mean, but
Yeah,
did you,
yeah, oh,
you,
yeah.
did you shop at both? Right?
Yes, yes,
Were
yeah.
you
Yeah, I got my jeans from them All American Jeans. Yeah, I got my jeans from All American Jeans, you know.
Did your friends like come to see you at the store?
No, because my friends, they would have their job working at other retail stores. Because my friends was my distributor education classmates,
Yeah.
and we all had our different jobs, you know. So they ain't had time to come down and see me.
They went to their own store.
They went to their own store, you know.
Can you talk a little bit about some of the people you've worked with and you know you can use names or not use names, like some that you enjoyed, some that were struggles, some of the folks here.
But
It's up to you. You
yeah, it's, you know, I mean, I came in contact with basically all the employees,
Yeah.
and Reginald Harrod, he was the store manager, you know, and he his job was to get all the transfers ready for me to go to the pick up at the stores or bring them to the stores, and so he was good at that, but then sometimes he was a pain. Okay, and Stephen Hill, he was the guy. He was the buyer. He was he made sure that I was able to learn as much about the merchandise, and he made sure that I was taken care of.
Yeah.
You know, if I had any kind of trouble, you know, and I'll talk to him about it, and he'll work it out.
Yeah.
You know, so
Well, you mentioned Mr. Mack.
Mr.
Can
Mack.
you describe Mr. Mack for
Well,
anyone who doesn't know him?
Mr. Mack was Irish. You know? And he had his own tailor shop before he came to us. And I used to deliver our overflow, alteration overflow. I would deliver it to Mr. Mack on Britannia Street, and he would do it for us, and we'd pick it up. Then when he came here to work for us permanent, he was a nonsense guy. He believed in doing everything professional, He don't believe in, half-ass doing anything. Okay, so.
I didn't know he had his own store before this.
Yeah, he had his own store, yes. And with his own tailor shop. It was a tailor shop, so he had his own tailor shop. So he's a master tailor, So he came with me to when I bought my house. He came to me to make sure the house was in perfect shape, because he was a man of jack of all trades. Mac, he was a man of jack of all trades, and he liked, collect things. He was a collector, To this day, I still have this reel-to-reel Sony tape player that Mr. Mack gave me, and I think it date back into the 40s, something like that. But it's reel-to-reel. I say 40, that's maybe too far back. Date back to the 60s. And it's reel-to-reel, and it still works, and I still play it sometimes. Yeah, so, but Mac, he was a gentleman that, you could have went to him for anything. He had an answer. That was his trade. He was a master of everything. And when he say no, he mean no. So
he says yes, it'll get done.
He said yes, it'll get done. So. Think about Mr. Bill Ross. He was the assistant manager over the credit department in the office, So he was a good guy, Mr. Ross. He was a nice guy. I remember Mr. Ross. He used to pass every Christmas with a bonus. That's when we used to get paid in cash. And he used to come around, with bonus. Everybody got their little cash bonus every Christmas. You don't forget people like that, Mr. Ross, yes. And Mr. Abe Rubenstein. It was funny because I remember Mr. Abe, and my dad used to shop at Steinmark, not Steinmark, Stein.
Bergstein.
No, just Stein's. Right down the corner, Coronet and Canal Street. My father used to shop at Stein's. And I used to go there, and Abe Rubenstein used to wait on me. So it's amazing. He remembered as a child. He remembered, when, because, a period when I was in school, I still would go to Stein's and buy my little shirts in town, and Mr. Abe Rubenstein was there waiting on me. But he told me, I don't know who it was. Someone told him that his name is Rubenstein. He shouldn't be working down there. So they brought him in to work with us, So he been with us. And he was the manager at Layside store. Layside store. And he was a good Mr. He was really good. He was a good guy. Abe Rubenstein.
I confess, I was confused as a child. I thought he must be related to us, too.
Yes.
We had so many relations. He was named Rubenstein, and
Yes.
he worked here.
Yes.
So, do you remember, Andre and David said to me, they mentioned a guy, but it may be before your time, I don't know, a guy named Bunny who used to do the windows?
I've never met Bunny. Yes, but I met his wife. Can't think of her name, because she used to work for us also. His wife used to work for us, and but this is an interesting story. Miss Gertrude and Miss Doran went to Lincolnstein food store, uptown. And she walked in the store, and she said, "Jane, what you doing here? You work for us. Take that apron off." And my brother said, I'm not James. She said, stop playing. And she went to take the apron off. And my brother said, I'm not James. I'm James' twin brother. She said, stop playing, James, you know. So, brothers, take that apron off. You work for us. You don't work here. So my brother said she got very chested.
I'm sure she did.
And so he kind of convinced him. So she came and worked the next day. She said, you ain't told me you had a twin brother. I made myself look like a plumb fool in that store. I told him, take the apron off. You work for us. You don't work here. Yes, that was a good story.
That was a good story.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
a really good story.
yeah,
I like
it's
it.
great truth. Yeah, great truth. I'm gonna make my brother come here. So I guess that's another reason why I don't work for nobody else, because she wasn't gonna let me work for nobody else. Yes. Yeah.
She couldn't let you go, man. You were her ally, her buddy.
Yes.
Oh, so, how about customers? Have you had any notable customers?
Well, God bless the day. Mr. August Robbins, go by Duke, call him Duke Robbins, you know. And he was one of our top customer, Brianna customer. And when I started working in valet, so I was valet his call from, and Mr. Duke saw me in uh, the Lust Cleaner one morning. He said, "What you doing here?" I said, "You know, you always tell me that my shirts look nice and clean. You know," I said, "That's to do my shirts, you know." So from that day on, he would have me to bring his clothes to the cleaner. And Mr. Duke took me underneath his wings. Yeah, he took me underneath his wings. You know, he made sure that I wasn't needed for anything that I needed. You know, I mean, if I needed, you know, I went to him. He made sure I had it. You know, he'd open up the restaurant on Friday and Saturday, sometimes Sunday nights. I worked at the restaurant. I became his personal valet guy. You know, drove him around, did things for him, ran errands for him. You know, I mean, all the customers, you know, they treat me nice, you know. I mean, but Mr. Duke was a good guy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
great story.
Yeah, he was a good guy.
When you're out in the community, when you're home, when you're talking to your friends who did retail with, did the retail school with you, like, what's your sense of, what's it been like to say you work for Rubenstein's?
But they wasn't shocked.
Hmm.
All of my classmates, you know, they said, "Well, we're not shocked because you always dress well in school."
Mhm.
So we wasn't, you know, they wasn't surprised that I worked for the first class, high class store, because they say, you know, the job fits you well because you always dressed well in school. So, because I used to get my clothes tailor made, you know. So. My daddy got his clothes tailor made, you know, and he was come over here and get buy ties, you know, and sometimes he'd buy shoes because my dad wore size 15s, and so when they had 15 in stock, he would get them, you know, get the ones they had in stock. So
Was he a
yeah,
tall man?
yeah, he was a tall guy. Yeah, my dad about 6'3", yeah, 6'3", 6'4", you know, big guy, you know. But they had dress shirts, you know, 18 neck dress shirts for them, you know, long sleeve, 37 inches, you know, sleeves wise. They had belts, you know, 52 waist belts, you know. They had sun shoes, you know. I mean, so he would shop us, you know, time to time. You know, he come over here time to time, you know. And last time he came over here, Mr. Mac fit him, bought a suit. Mr. Mac fit him, yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah,
Nice.
so, uh, again, you know, my friend wasn't surprised that, you know, I worked at Rubenstein based on the way I used to dress in school. They wasn't surprised.
And don't remember. I know you have a daughter.
Yes.
'Cause it's hard not to remember the face every time you talk about it.
Yes.
But I don't remember if you have a son. I know you have a grandson.
Yes, I have a son. His name is Jonathan,
Mhm.
and he is the second born. And he went to Walter Alcorn, and left there. He did 8 years in the Marine. You know, so
Does he take after his daddy? Is he a sharp dressed man?
yes, he dressed, but on when he had to.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, these his generation was sports guys. They dress up, in sports gears and sports wear. You know, my generation we dress up like the Four Ties, the Temptation, the OJs. Mom used to always tell me, you dress like you going on stage. And that's what we follow. They looked good, so we want to look good. And my son generation was a lot of basketball players, and they dress in basketball attires. But when he need to get dressed, yeah, he got a couple nice pieces in his wardrobe.
Well,
Yeah.
that's good. That's good.
My daughter's, my firstborn, her name is Jermaine. So she she got one son. His first name is Connor, and she worked in retail for a while, but now she's a stay-at-home mom now. But she's after she got retail, she started doing the bar scene. She realized doing being a bartender, she was making much more money than working in a retail store. So she, so
True.
yeah, so she
You're
made,
gonna get paid in cash.
so she got and my Jennifer, my third child, she stayed in North Carolina, and she all the thing I say about her, she gave me 5 grandchildren. And Jermaine gave me one grandson. So I have 6 grandchildren. And my last child is Jamaje. This year she'll be 24. So, and they all came from Rubenstein.
Well, not in the stock room.
Yeah, so other than that, I mean, it's a good life. I mean, good. I'm a good family. I tell everybody. I came over here. I came here with 21st, 26th first cousin. I came from a large family. Sorry, they like wasn't a family vibe, atmosphere. And when I came over here, everybody that worked here, they went to college, went to the service, and they came back. I say everybody, but not everybody, just generally speaking. I would say 80% of employees that went to college, went to the service, and came back from the story that they told me. And I say if they could start their family here, I could start my family here.
Oh, that's nice to hear. Yeah.
Yeah, and then they all was family people. They all had their family, and they all worked there and they had families. So, and I say that's what I said. They could start a family working here. I could start my family.
Do you feel like y'all had a relationship outside of work? I mean, do you?
Well, in summertime we did. The employees got together and did the picnic thing. For Christmas time, they went across the street to the Pearl restaurant. And they had a Christmas party. So then as time went by, then the Riverstein Corporation got involved in it. The store got involved in it. Then it became an annual thing for the store. Yeah, but prior to the store getting directly involved in it, that's what the employee did. For the summertime, we had volleyball
Remember who
games.
started it? I didn't know it was started by employees. That's really neat.
Well, yeah, it started by Reggie, Thomas Landry. Uh, it just started about his employees, Carol Lewis, you know, Miss Vicky Tardy, you know, all you know, non-selling person. You know, I mean, they would get together, you know, and sometimes they would pick a day we would go to City Park and get a shelter and we'd have a picnic and sit out there all day, you know. Christmas time, we go across the street, you know, to the prairie, we have a Christmas party, you know. So all that was did by the employee. And I said, as time went by, then the store got involved in it. You know, they started furnishing it, sponsoring it. They started sponsoring it. Yeah, which was good and bad because
Now you gotta behave.
right, because when they sponsored, it was a limitation to drinking
Exactly.
because you know they don't want anything to happen because they'd be liable for the suit. You know, so and that is you know it didn't set too well because you know the guys you know they like to drink. You know, they get out there and drink all day. You know, it'd be you know 8 o'clock at night. You know, they'd be sitting out there in the dark. You know, well when the store got involved in, and you know everything got shut down at 4:30. They started.
More family oriented.
Yeah.
Shall we say.
Yes. But
On the other hand, they paid for stuff, so.
yeah, like I
you
said,
know,
it's sponsored. Yeah,
yeah,
so you
but-
know, yeah, it was sponsored. Yeah, it became before the store started sponsoring. Everybody would just put together
Yeah.
like a potluck. Everybody bring what they want to have. You know.
Miss Vicky and Miss Carol, because I worked in the office most of
Mhm.
the time. They were the ones who taught me. Miss Vicky teaching me that adding machine, man. That thing, bane of my existence. I was bad at that.
Joe Pinto, he was a nice guy. He was been around a long time. You know. So funny thing about Joe Pinto, he decided to go into a pizza business, and he opened up a pizza shop. Yeah, so it didn't last too long. He came back to the store. That's one thing I get to the store. They allow people to come back. They leave and come back. They can't, you know. It wasn't like if you leave, you know, we don't want to have anything to each no more. No, you left, you tried something, it didn't work out. Come back at home. The door was open, and they'll come back. You know, the store will take them back.
Well, I appreciate that. Well, is there any kind of story or anything you want to be sure and share that I haven't asked you about yet?
This one story that I think I would like to share, and is that I ran out of gas in the truck. And I ran out of gas right there by Parrot Prison on the interstate. And then all these guys hollering out the window, you know. So I had to jump the fence, go buy a gas can. All they had was a 1 gallon gas can. I bought the gallon of gas.
At the prison?
No.
Okay, you
The
say you
pri-
jumped the fence. So
Yeah,
what
yeah,
fence?
yeah. Well, you know, the fence between the highway and the prison.
Right.
Yeah, so, because it's right there on Broad and Broad and Tulane, Broad and Tulane. Because the interstate is right,
Right,
there.
right there.
Yeah. So when I jumped the fence and I had to pass around, you know, the prison, you know, and then the next block was Tulane. So I got the damn gas, put it in the truck. So now next to the station is Canal City Park. So I know I only had a gallon of gas. I said I should get off and go to this filling station and gas up. I didn't. And when I got off at Bonneville, and the light turned green, I crossed Bonneville. I went by 2 blocks and I ran out of gas. I ran out of gas again. So I had to walk from that point to the Exxon filling station because we had a account with Exxon filling station.
Was it a long walk?
No, because Exxon filling station was on Bonneville. Not Bonneville.
Veterans, like,
It was on Causeway and Veteran.
think that's a long walk
From
from
well,
Bonneville to Causeway.
no, I passed about 2 blocks.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and once you made that circle, it was right there. Yeah, so it wasn't a long walk. So I went there, and the guy, put 5 gallons in can, jump in their truck, and we filled the truck back up. So I ran out of gas in the truck and I didn't tell nobody.
You didn't tell. I was
I
gonna
didn't
say,
tell
did
nobody.
they find out about it?
I ain't told nobody. It's my second time telling this story.
Well, I
Yeah,
appreciate you
yeah,
sharing.
I ran out of gas on the truck.
Did
Yeah.
anyone comment when you must have been going out to Lakeside or Plaza, yeah? Somewhere out there. And did anyone say like, whoa, man, you smell like gas?
No, no. Everything was quick, coming out,
That's good.
I ran out of gas. Oh, shit, so I just put over.
Oh.
I went into, survival mode. I jumped the
That's
fence. We got some gas, jumped back over the fence, put it in the truck.
Jump
So-
back over the fence with a can of gas.
Yeah. Well, gallon of gas, gallon can. And guess what? I still got that can in my shade. After all the years, I still got that gallon can in my
I
shade.
don't know if I call it a lucky can or an unlucky can, but
Still
either
got
way, it did the trick then.
It did. I just made a dumb decision.
I appreciate you sharing that.
Instead of
It's a good story.
going to Sheriff Fitter Station on Canal City Park. Yeah. But that's that. I mean, hey, I had a wonderful life,
You've been, you've been an incredible asset here, just a great guy. I feel, I feel really lucky because growing up, I got to see you and so many other guys who were great role models of what it means to work hard, to have integrity. It meant a lot. Still
Yeah.
means a lot.
Yeah, well, back in those days, I met this guy, Al Murray, and he had this book, Think and Grow Rich. And he said, read the book, and I read it. And the book was about working for a company. And one part of the book, one chapter of the book was, you never work for a company. You always work as though the company was your company. All right, and that was my way of. When I work, I just made sure I worked the way I had one thing to run myself. Yeah,
Thank you for that.
I think that's why they kept me so long because I just, I did what I had to do, and I didn't mind doing it. I didn't mind suggesting things, and I'm just, I move around, I mean.
You know what I wanted to ask you? Can you
Co-
talk about like some of the celebrities who come in?
Well, we had Muhammad Ali and Spinks fight at the Superdome. Cannon work at 9:15 that morning. Muhammad Ali was standing by the elevator. And when I walk in the elevator, I saw him standing up there, and I did that. I punched it, I touched him in his stomach. And I looked down, I say, man, you in shape? I feel like Pillsbury Doughball, And he looked at me because I'm telling you, my hand, I didn't hit him hard, but he was real, he was like fat. It was like jello. It was, I said, man, are you in shape? Yeah, and he looked at me, like I knew he wasn't in shape, because I asked him, I said, man, you in shape? And other than that, we had.
Oh, wait. Did you bet on the fight?
No.
Okay.
No.
Now that you had the inside info.
Luther Vandross. Vandross or Van Ross?
No, Vandross.
Vandross. Luther Vandross. He came in the store. And he was had his cap on and everything. And I recognized him. And I said, Luther. I said, can I get your autograph? He said, no, not today. I said, if I don't get your autograph, I'm going to get on a PA system. I'm going to let everybody know you're in the store. And he said, I will walk out. And the way he said, I will walk out, made me felt like he came here to spend money, and I would be the reason why he's not gonna spend money. So I just say, okay, and I ain't tell nobody. I ain't tell, but he signed a wall. We had a wall where all the celebrities come in, they sign their name. Next person came in one day was Ray Fox. And I turned to Ben and I looked. I said, what you looking at, dummy? I said, you really Ray. I mean, he was red. Yeah. You could, I mean, he wasn't brown skin or light skin. He was red. Just like they call him Ray Fox. And, you know, he was red. Yeah. Yeah. Because and because I stare, I look down, and then that's when he made that comment, and I say, you really Ray. Yeah, he was like, he was Ray. Well, that's why they call him Ray Fox, because he was Ray. Yeah, yeah. He was in paint. He was in light color. He was Ray. He was Ray. That's why they call him Ray Fox, because he was Ray. And that's for mine. Liberace came in.
Did he buy anything?
I don't know if he bought anything, but he signed a wall with his piano. You know how his signature is? Rick James came in. So when I came off the truck, everybody said, Rick James here. I said, huh? He was on the second floor. And he bought an all-white suit. And if you ever saw that video he did of, what's the name of that song? Give It To Me, Baby, something like that. He got on this all-white suit, and that's the suit that he bought here.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Old Rick James.
Nice.
And that's besides, the Temptation, his oldest one's the one still living thing. Oldest, he came in the store. You know, he autographed his CD that I had for him. He gave me his autograph. He autographed it for me.
And now you're doing ballet. That's what.
How that came about?
Yeah.
Okay, well, in '97 we closed all the suburban stores. So Miss Andre said, James, it's not the personal, it's just business, He said, we closing the suburban stores, and we're not gonna need a truck driver no more. He said, everything, only thing I have is in valet, He said, if you want it, I got somebody down there now, but you seniority, you're good. If you want it, you can have it. He said, if you don't, I understand, like that, So I say, okay. I say, I'll take it, He said, well, talk to Kenny. And I talked to Kenny, and so it's been history. So I have, Mr. David gave me a certificate for customer appreciation. So I had, I would like to say I'm the one implementing customer service for us as refreshments. All right.
You mean offering folks a water
Cus-
or a
Customer come in, I'd ask them, do they want anything? And they said, yeah, you got a Diet Coke, I would go across the street to the grocery and come back with a Diet Coke. If they say they want a drink, bourbon and Coke, I'll go to the hotel and come back with a drink, So, after I did that so many times, then the store realized that, that was a good feature to have, to offer customer service, refreshments. And so they started bringing refreshments, But prior to that, I was the one that would always get the refreshment and give it to the customers. They want a coffee, I go to a restaurant and get a cup of coffee and come back, and have them. So, I did so well to that, I was getting a lot of compliments and get a lot of written up, about it, Andre came to me and told me, he always knew that there was a good, department, good service, but he never thought that it had been brought to the level that I had brought it. So that was a good compliment.
Yeah.
You know, so, but yeah, I just like, like helping people, like serving people.
Yeah. Well, plus you must be able to drive some pretty nice cars. I know you don't drive them very far, but it must be interesting at least to see
Yeah,
inside
well,
some of those cars.
yeah, they,
You ever have one where you're like, I do not know how this one works?
well, that's the day's cars.
Yeah.
That's the ones being made 2023 and 2024.
Yeah.
You know, if you don't know where to, ain't nothing on the shift no more. It's buttons. You know, and this Lincoln, they have the gears shift is underneath the radio. So I'm sitting in there and looking, trying to find it. And I couldn't find it. I came back and I told her later, I said, I'm sorry. I said, I can't find your gear. I said, where's your
Park
park
and drive.
drive. So she said, it's underneath the radio. And it was actually underneath the radio.
That's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
Did it make you, like, is that how you always decided what car you wanted? Like, did it help you know what car you wanted for you to see so many cars?
Yeah, well, the car that I wanted for me was 1987. Mr. Andre say, Sam Rubenstein got 1974 Chevy Nova. And the boys are getting ready to go to college. And I'm offering to the boys, Kenny and Mark, they're going to college. And if they don't want it, you can have it. Well, Mark and Kenny wasn't going to drive a 1974 four-door family car, right? So they didn't want the car, so Mr. Andre gave me the car.
Oh, nice.
And to this day, I'm restoring this car. I still got it.
Wow.
And to be honest with you, go back to the question. I don't care how many cars I drive. Not to drive better than a 74 Nova.
Wow.
I have no desire to get a Mercedes or get a Maserati or, because, my car is a 1974 Nova.
Man, my brothers missed out apparently.
I mean, that's my car. That's that's my baby.
Yeah.
That's my baby.
That's great.
Yeah.
Well, James, I cannot tell you how much I appreciate you taking the time to do this. Thank you.
Okay, I appreciate it. It's a lot been going on and been happening. 47 years.
Yeah.
I remember this building we sitting in was a homestead building. When the store had bought this building when I was here.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen a lot of changes. Yes, a lot of changes.
Yeah.
A lot of opening and closing stores.
I don't know if you want to talk about this, but I'm curious. You've seen the store under 3 different generations, right? Like so, Elkin and Morris, David and Andre, Kenny and Allison. Do you see big differences in the way they see the store, or the way they understand the store, or manage the store?
Mr. Morris came to the stock room one day. I was pricing a shirt. And he picked up the shirt. Shirt was $62, $65. Mr. Morris picked up the shirt, looked at the price, and he threw the shirt on the floor. And he said, they're going to price yourself out of business. Because at that time, our most expensive shirt was $32.50. And the ones on the first floor was like $22, $21.50, $21.50. So the Madison shop had the most expensive shirt, which was like $32. And so when he saw the price point at $65, and I told Stephen Hill to buy it, I said, Morris was upset about the prices. He said, I'd rather sell a dozen shirts at $65 a piece than trying to sell 3 dozen shirts to get that amount. and that was the whole concept. So they took it to under David Bynum. They took it to another level for as bringing in much more luxury, quality merchandise.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, it was a change. Mr. Andre, he had a very good net of buying shoes. You know, I'm wearing one of his favorite shoes now. He's over 20 years old. he, he had a good taste on buying shoe buy. So. But go back to your question. I think, not that I think, Kenny, Dave and Andre took it to another level than Mr. Morris and Elkins had. Kenny is keeping it on that same level that Dave and Andre brought it. Brought in, much more quality merchandise, much more fashion forward merchandise. Under Morris and Elkins, there was a basic conservative store. There was some fashion forward store. There was your tradition, Southern store. Yeah. But now it's fashion forward.
Yeah,
Yeah. So.
I agree. Well, thank you again. I really do appreciate it.